I am getting so incredibly sick of the electrical industry in the UK. It just seems to be locked into this death spiral, race to the bottom, where everything has to be cheaper, quicker, lower quality. I want to demonstrate today in a video about why that's not just inconvenient for the bottom line of electricians, but actually this is dangerous.
So I think our average price for an EICR is probably £1,000 to £2,000.
Who can make money at 50 quid? You can't turn up.
For an EICR, I'd allow roughly about a full day.
It's probably why I'm too expensive for your average EICR when people are doing it for 100 quid.
Why am I ranting? I got a phone call earlier where somebody wanted a set price for EICRs, commercial and domestic. I gave them my price, roughly per circuit and a minimum charge. See if you can guess that in the comments below, we will reveal it later. They then gave me the price that they are paying, which is kind of, for me, the final straw on something that I already knew was coming. What this phone call has really revealed to me is that basically the electrical industry is in a bit of a shambles, and I've probably had the luxury, because of all the YouTube and everything, of being a little bit shielded from all of this, because we advertise far and wide, obviously, with the YouTube channel, and people tend to come to us because they want us and they want a certain standard of work, not because we're just the first ones that came up on Google and the cheapest ones that came up on Google. And just in case you think that I'm exaggerating, all right, let me prove it. So I've got a list of companies here that I'm going to call and get some quotes from. Oh, hiya. I was just wondering if it'd be possible to get a quote, please, for an EICR.
How many circuits?
9.
That would be £50.
£50. Okay, amazing. How long do you expect that to take, just so I know how long to allow for it?
Installation should take about an hour.
An hour, £50. All right, lovely. Thank you very much. I'll get back to you.
Between 143 and 147, depending on the day.
Okay. And how long do you suspect it would take?
Could be like within 1 to 2 hours.
But you notice, the last 2 companies haven't asked me if it's 3-phase, they haven't asked me if we've had any historic inspections done. I've had no questions asked, which I just find insane.
This really was an eye-opening exercise for me. We came up with everything from the price of an oil change all the way up to the price of a small car.
Talking around £400, take about 3 to 4 hours. Give me a call back.
Okay, respect.
You'd be looking at about £50, no more than an hour.
One thing as well is we've got a lot of kitchen equipment in there. Do we actually need to shut down the shop and turn the power off for that hour?
We shouldn't need to, no. We should be able to keep all the power up and running.
So we have our results from our little phone call experiment. There are a few companies out there, the outliers, that are doing it properly. So this is not meant to smear a brush on the whole electrical industry. But being honest with you, I was trying to pick and target the ones that the stingy landlords that are out there that don't actually care about the safety of the people that are staying in their properties, picking the ones that they would choose.
Please, sir, I want some more.
Electrical safety.
So the cheaper ones that I was finding, you're looking at about £50 to £75. So that little 9 circuit job that everyone's been quoting, the commercial kitchen, we are going to go do that ourselves thoroughly and see how far we get in 1 hour. Oh, right, so an EICR, or an electrical installation condition report, is an electrical inspection followed up by testing, which is something we have to do in the UK in order to maintain your home or business insurance. Basically like an MOT for your wiring. This is something that needs time, skill and insurance to do properly. First of all, we want to check the actual integrity of the consumer unit. I'm just making sure that it's solid, that it's fixed well, checking all of the IP ratings. All the way around, the strain relief on the tail's great. Okay, fantastic. Next thing I'm looking at is labelling, making sure that all the appropriate labelling is there. Yep, it is. Lovely stuff. Should we do a little neat or not neat? Oh, passable. Yeah. Someone decent must have installed that. So, now we've had a little look at the inside of the board. I'm just checking that there's no burning, no wearing out on any of the conductors, making sure that all of the teeth are correctly terminated and everything on the bus bar comb, no burning or arcing on any of that. Visual inspection inside the board looks pretty good. Let's go for a little wander round, shall we? Right, so we check the water heater. I'd say it's not ideal that there's stuff around it. Looks like that has been snagged from when it was installed. I can just start to see single insulated cable there. So that's an observation we'll have to bring up. So inside of the bathroom, there are no electrics, great. All of this is on and solid still. Emergency light, indicator still seems to be good. Okay, so just check the sockets. Quick visual inspection. So I'm not taking apart any wiring right now. I'm just using my eyes, my nose, my senses to see if I can smell any issues. Move the electrical equipment here. Ooh, I see an extension lead. I'm not a fan of that. Can you see that just in there? Yeah, that for me, that's an observation. Now, like it or not, you've got 3 13 amp plugs plugged into one 13 amp socket. That's asking for trouble. Already, our visual inspection is bearing fruit. Should have a little look behind here. Oh man, I don't like working in kitchens. So they're labelled up circuit 5, that's all good. Checking the IP rating, no damage on the sockets. No, we are all good. Great, smoke alarm seems to be intact. Next step, we check above the ceiling. We just want to make sure that all of the cabling above the ceiling is properly secured to prevent premature collapse. Yep, so you can see there, we've got steel cable ties inside of a fireproof clip into the fire rated ceiling. So that all seems to be okay. Fuse spur there is still in good nick. We're doing all right with our £50 budget.
Look, I don't actually hate the electrical industry, quite the opposite. I love it. Being an electrician is pretty much all I've ever known. My whole adult life has been wires, but I love it. It's what I've wanted to do and what I've enjoyed doing from a young age, and it's given me everything that I have. It's put a roof over my head, it provides for me, for my family, and it's something that I'm proud of, which I think that is why it annoys me so much when I see this race to the bottom, when I see people quoting 50 quid for an EICR and saying they can do it in an hour, because it's more than that. It's not just the EICR. And if you're a tradesman watching this that loves his trade, you know that this carries over more than the electrical trade. But that's what we're focusing on today anyway, because with electrics, it's not just cheap, it's dangerous.
I feel the electrical industry has changed pretty much how we live as a standard. Everything's so fast-paced, and it's more about quantity rather than quality.
At the minute, it does feel like the industry is in a death spiral for certain things. Bit of a race to the bottom on the pricing for EICRs. But our approach to that is we just set our price, and if people don't want to pay it, they can use one of the guys in that race.
I feel like it is not going downhill, but that is due to my perspective and where I'm positioned in the industry, in the commercial industrial world. I can very much see how in the domestic side of things that may be the feelings of some people, and I also strongly believe that an electrician should be a protected title to stop the race to the bottom, cowboys, stuff like that.
This week I got an email from somebody, I think it was Mr. Constructor, offering 90 quid for an EICR for a 30-minute appointment, which was impressive. For a 2-bedroom house, 90 quid, it's only going to be booked in for half an hour to do a full EICR. There's definitely conflicting opinions out there about what an EICR should be like.
Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we need to type out all of the customer's details and all of the job information, the job details, as well as our observations. I'm going to be using this app here, Tradecert. It uses AI to speed up your electrical certificates. It is by far the best electrical certification software that I have ever found. They're not actually sponsoring this video, but I do have a link there below where you can get 3 months for completely free to try it out. Okay, so we're at this section here now, which is the observations section. So we have found some remedials, single insulation visible outside of enclosure, and then we're going to do the AI suggest, and that is going to come up with codes for us. So no basic installation of conductor outside of enclosure. There we go. Update this installation code 2. Boom, save, done. We're just going to add the photo. Boom, then location, immersion, heater, cupboard. All right, so this here is my main head, and this here is my main head. I can tell looking at this that this is a TNCS supply, or Terra Neutral Combined Separated Supply. So you can see there that the earth is going in with the neutral so that it is linked. If it was TNS, you'd see the earthing conductor attached onto the sheathing here, but they are separated, and it warns you here as well. This is protected to a protective multiple earth system, or a PME system, also known as TNCS. So we can then go onto our inspection sheet and click TNCS, and it is 1 phase 3 wire, nominal voltage 230 volts. All right then, so it's time for us to actually do our first test. In this instance, it's the QTech KT66DL. Tremendous value for money, bulletproof. I've had it for 3 years now and it's never once missed a beat. So we're going to set up for our first test, which is our ZE test. So for ZE, I'm setting my test meter to loop high. I'm making sure that I'm testing between line and earth, not line and neutral, but line and earth. I'm going to disconnect the main earth, which no one is in the building right now, so I mean, I would argue that we're safe to do this. Should never do this when someone's home. Should really turn the power off. There we go. Then we're going to test between our line conductor coming in and our earth. We are getting a test result of 0.25. Now, that is okay because I know that the max allowable test result for a TMCS system is comment below. So the next test we're going to do is our potential short circuit current. So that is our potential fault current. If we were to have a short circuit, we can work out our PEFC, or potential earth fault current, by just doing simple Ohm's law, or by looking at your test meter there. I need to reconnect our main earth. All right, main earth is connected. Then we can switch all the circuits back on, and we're ready to do our PSCC, which is where we test between line and neutral. And then we record that reading down there. See that? 0.82. So our PSC would be, or potential short circuit current would be 0.87. For our supply protective devices, I'm looking at this one just here, and we have a BS1361 type 2B 100 amp. Obviously, I can't open that up and actually verify that it's 100 amp because of D rules, but I know that generally on those fuses, the short circuit capacity in KA is 33 KA and it's rated at 100 amps. So I'm going to fill all of that out just like so. Set it to 100 amps. There we go. So that is our supply side of it. We've confirmed the supply polarity by switching off and doing our tests. Our earth loop impedance was 0.25. Brilliant. All right, so I'm going to fill out some of this later, again, giving the people doing the 1 hour EICRs a head start, because otherwise I'm going to use my first half hour of my hour just doing paperwork for this job. Okay, so bonding conductor, it is plastic throughout the property. They have no oil, there's no structural steel, and there's no lightning. So main protective bonding conductor is not applicable. CSA is not applicable. Do you know what, genuinely, it's been a little while since I've had to do an actual electrical inspection. Being a business owner, I'm not always out on the tools doing every job, but I forget how much work there actually is just on the admin side of it. Is ridiculous. So the next section on your certificate is this, which is your inspection schedule. So again, just for the sake of the video and for the sake of giving those 1 hour wonders a head start, we'll skip that and do it later. I've taken a picture with the AI mode on there, and that has automatically populated my circuit description, circuit size, and all of the rest of it.
See, for me, I still remember being young and learning the ropes. I remember that old boy mentality being drilled into me. If you do it once, you do it properly, and that has stuck.
My theory is that you should always try and have an apprentice and a trainee, and as well as making content, try and inspire that passion for the industry, not just like teach them how to do their job, but teach them how to feel passion for it into your apprentices. What do you think about that?
I completely agree. It's also one of the most rewarding things you can do is impart your knowledge on someone, your enthusiasm. It's not going to work every time, but yeah, I think that's a big thing, and I am concerned about the type of people entering industry and the type of people looking after these people entering the industry.
Yes, I am worried about the future for apprentices, if I'm honest. I think social media plays havoc with young minds.
And that's why I get so frustrated when I see our trade being treated like it doesn't matter. When you try and do things properly and people say, why are you doing it that way? Because it does matter. Every single switch that you wire up, every socket, every light, every connection matters. It's important. We should put that on a t-shirt. Every connection matters.
Now, some of you are going to be thinking, why have I tested this way around? Usually when you're testing, you have two sets of tests, your dead tests and your live tests. Usually your ZE, PEFC, PSC, all of that stuff comes under live testing, which is done after your dead testing. I personally like to just get all of the main stuff done and then focus on the circuit. So that's why. First circuit is oven 1, which has been very conveniently labeled for us. So we're going to take our screwdriver. Where'd I put my screwdriver? Oh, there it is. All right, oven 1, let's go. Circuit is off. Oh man, it's moved. Oh, and more extension leads. Not ideal. I really don't want to just write down limitation because that feels so unthorough. But this kind of proves a point, right? If I had like a 3-hour time period that I would usually allow to do an inspection like this, I would move all of this stuff out the way and get to the oven isolator switch. But the oven isolator switch is right behind there with this now built in front of it, so I can't get to it. Unfortunately, because I'm doing an EICR on a budget, I haven't got time. So that has now become a limitation, meaning it's not safely inspected. Now, next one, water. So we're going to use these leads here, which are basically a crocodile clip with a magnetic bit on it, made by Super Rod. We'll set our meter to continuity. We then need to zero our leads. We can fit this on, like so. Then we run the other side and test it, which conveniently is right here. People are calling me! They won't need to borrow towels, babe, they're adults. They'll have towels with them at the beach. I'm getting stressy now. I hate being in a rush. Someone has put this absolute turgid piece of junk, plastic, and this was honestly not me. Someone has been here since I've been here 2 years ago. So, full confession, I did this install 2 years ago for completely free. If you want to see that video series, I'll drop a link to it in the description below. It was it was a for the good of the community project. I can't get inside this blimmin' thing. So it was a charitable project that we did as a company, as a YouTube channel. I absolutely loved it. It was stressful. But that was like 2 years ago. And I noticed there's a few changes since I've been here. For example, those heaters weren't there. And these hateful screw cap cover protector things, they weren't there. And I haven't got my knife on me. Oh yes, I do. All right. This is such a problem that only electricians will understand. Right, let's get this thing off. Now we just want to test between line and earth here. 0.17. Water heater in our box, R1, R2. No, I don't want to do an update on my watch. Why does a watch need an update? Just tell me the time, man. Sorry, my wife is watching this. I love this watch. All right. My camera just blimmin' died. Let's just get through all of our R1 plus R2. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do all the R1 plus R2. It's basically that, but repeated. We'll come back and then we'll see what time we have left.
So no, I don't hate being an electrician. I love it. I'm just sad seeing the spiral that the trade is on in the UK. I just want people to understand that when you pay for cheap, quite often you don't get safe. And in this job, safe is everything.
Right, that's it. Time is over. I am out of time and I'm not even close to finishing. I've still got to do insulation resistance, which is essential. That is making sure that no one's screwed through any cables, that no insulation is damaged. I still need to do my RCD testing and trip times. I've still got all the certifications to do. So for someone claiming that they can do this in 1 hour, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that they're doing a thorough job and they're just way faster than me? Definitely possible. There are some very fast testers out there. Or do you think it could be theoretically possible that they are cutting corners, that they're not doing a thorough, proper test? It makes me really sad because the title of this video really is misleading. I'm saying that I hate the electrical industry in the UK. That's not true. I actually love being an electrician and I love doing it here in the UK, because most of the time our standards and our regs are tremendous, but it just feels like we're being sold out to the lowest bidder, and it hurts my feelings because it's something that I'm passionate about. So I don't know, you tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Is 50 quid and an hour's work adequate for an EICR? Are you seeing this in the other corners of the electrical industry? Just for the record, yes, we now are having to do this properly, and for the record, doing it properly, including talking up all circuits, a full thermal vision view of the electrical system, it's taken us about 3.5 hours, which was roughly what I expected. So 3.5 hours for £50, that's great profit.
What? Where's his hair gone?
Oh yeah.
What?